I sure hope Ryan's watching this because we're going to talk about something that may hit home. Some say it's the man's attitude and emotion that drives a marriage. So when you're dealing with a constantly grumpy husband, things can get pretty bad. But Dr. Sylvia Gearing is back with us today to talk about battling grumpy husband syndrome. It's real.
I like how we put Marcus right in the middle.
Yeah. What age does this start?
When you meet them.
Oh.
Okay, what is it? What is grumpy husband syndrome?
I think a lot of guys can get into a negative mood and not know what to do with it. That's where we get men's caves and they have to kind of go off and withdraw. But it can get really bad later in life, especially with all the stresses that men have. Men are not socialized to handle their feelings, as we all know. So, and women are. We are connoisseurs of feelings, and we are very sensitive to our husbands.
So what do we do to, as women, give them the space that they need to kind of work through their stress the way they need to, not take things personally,
right,
and still be able to, like, you know, function within the relationship?
Yeah, first of all, you have to keep your own head together, because I think a lot of women get into trying to fix it and soothe it and take it away, and that gets really intrusive for a lot of guys. Just
we get our feelings hurt.
Right, it does hurt. It does hurt, and also it's unpleasant because you walk in, you're in a good mood, you've been out with your friends, and then all of a sudden we have grumpy there.
Dun dun
Yeah,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. What a bummer to see you again, right? And you feel like you've been slimed, but it really is not intentional on his part. He has his own process. He's got to work through it, right, Marcus? Right. So what you need to do is keep your own head together and, you know, try to hang out with him if you can, but give yourself breaks and rewards for putting up with that.
So glad you just explained that.
Why?
Why?
It's difficult though, because when you know when you're dealing with issues, first of all, as a man, most of the time, good men don't want to put their problems on their wife and their family. That's the most difficult part. So us not necessarily, it's not that we don't necessarily want to talk to you. It's that we don't want to burden you with the burden that we carry, because we feel it's our job to get over that ourselves, so it doesn't reflect on you. And that's my train of thought. I've told my wife that 1,000 times. Like, babe, it's not that I don't want to communicate. It's that let me handle this the way I need to handle it, and then I can tell you about it.
So
but
what
the
do
doctor
we do?
just said you can reward yourself for dealing with this grumpiness. I want to hear more about that.
A lot of shopping.
See? Amy's good at that.
Absolutely. Yes. Baths, whatever. But you've got to have something to look forward to. But part of it is you don't want to get in the middle of that bad mood with him and try to dispute it for him.
What do you do when they chase you around? When they're in their bedroom and they want to talk about stuff, but you know, like, it's going to be the stuff that we talk about that's going to start a fight, and they're like,
absolutely.
this.
I always go into the I go in the bathroom. Close the door.
Close the door.
Yeah, close the door, because if you've said, you know, I need a boundary here, honey, I'm just not. This isn't going to go anywhere. You're not in a good mood. Sometimes they just blow right past that. They've got their own ideas about things. So just give yourself a break. A lot of physical removal of yourself helps. Go for a walk, step out to the pool, do something.
So what Marcus just described sounds very much so like Ryan.
Yes.
You know, they don't want to burden us, but as the wife, I feel like I would like for you to tell me what's going on, because then at least I understand. Is that a natural feeling?
Oh, well, women always want to know. We're gatherers. We want to know what the highlights are. And, you know, you can ask him, just tell me kind of what's on your mind, what's going on, your bad day at work or whatever. Then you kind of got a kind of soundbite that you can live with. Let him have his mood, though.
And you can kind of, sometimes from a man, you can get into the mindset of, let me have this problem on my own.
Yes.
Like, let me, you know, let
Like,
me
stop
deal with
getting
it.
all up in my-
Don't worry about it. And
Right.
that's my big thing. And that's, you know, my wife tells me all the time, you got to communicate with me when you're feeling something. I'm like, hey, let me deal with it, please. Let me do this. There's some things we do together. There's some things that I need to deal with myself. So I understand that.
So we have to respect that as well.
Yeah,
Right, but
absolutely.
I always say on the flip side of that, then you might have to respect the fact that she may be upset by that. Is that right? It's kind of cyclical.
And it compounds.
Yeah, and it does compound, but what you want to do is not personalize that bad mood, and you also want kind of a time limit. So maybe he's going to feel better tomorrow, or maybe, you know, later on today he'll feel better. You don't want this to go on forever.
Right.
It feels disrespectful, though, for you to talk him out of it. That's what a lot of men tell us.
That they feel disrespected if you try to get them out of their bad mood.
I am not a teenager.
Interesting.
Right, Marcus? Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
Very
is
good information.
That's eye-opening for me
Huge.
as a woman, and I wonder if some of you at home too, because I go there. I want to make you feel better. We're nurturers. We want to make everybody comfy and happy.
Yes.
And so I want to make you feel better.
I've been with my wife for 12 years.
12 years.
We've been together 12, married 8. I've only cried twice in front of her, like a real cry.
Yes.
So it's a rare occasion that we gonna share pain
Right.
with you, like real pain. You
So
know,
we just need to give space.
give us
Yes.
space.
Space.
Great
and
information,
dignity,
you guys. Well, you
always.
can find Dr. Gearing on our website. Just go to thebroadcasttv.com and click on today's links. All right, we're all heading over to the Broadcast Music Cafe next for a